Hi, welcome. I'm Mary Crowley, and this is The Art Show. Today, we are going to talk about PEGTV, what it was, what it is, and what it may become. PEGTV is a resource that this community is very, very lucky to have. And I have with me the Executive Director, Tom Leipold.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. I'm so glad you're on. I'm so glad I thought of this.
I feel honored to be on your show.
Good. I'm glad. I have done the art show since before 2000, and I've watched it change as the years have gone by. And Tom has been with PEG for a very long time, and there is a story there. So, Tom, if you'll tell the story.
Well, I actually started out with PEGTV when I was in college. I took the training course in 1993, and then 2 years later I got employed here in 1995. Started out as a production assistant and then just stayed for 22 years now, and made it all the way to the top. Unfortunately under kind of hard circumstances, but we've been here for a long time and I really enjoy it. This place has been great for the community, and you get to meet colorful people like yourself and all kinds of other members of the community, and it's been a really great experience.
Can you tell us, Tom, just briefly, where you were before you were in this wonderful facility at the House Center?
PEGTV originated in the basement of the cable company on 299 North Main Street, which at that time was Adelphia Cable. A lot of people might remember that.
Yes.
We were there for about a year, and then in 1996 we moved to the Stafford Technical Center, stayed there
and that's where I took some art students over, and you were willing to tape a show with one art student showing the others what to draw.
I remember that.
I think it was a dreadful show, but anyway, that was how I got started.
You got to start. That's where you get your start.
Right, exactly.
We stayed at Stafford for 9 years, and then we just outgrew the space, as you can remember.
Yes.
As we expanded and got more equipment, more employees, we just didn't fit in there anymore, and we decided that it was time for PEGTV to have its own structure, its own identity, its own personality. So in 2005, this current building got constructed, and we moved in February of 2005.
And this is a wonderful facility. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
You can do many different kinds of things here.
Yeah, we have this studio here for regular talk shows. We have the kitchen studio for cooking shows. We also started this new thing called Studio Speedway, that if someone has a quick announcement they want to make, they can just pull up out front. We'll take a director's chair outside and we'll just shoot their 30-second announcement. And in fact, Governor Scott was here a month or so ago and did one. Just got out of his SUV, sat down, did a thing, and took off. Didn't even have to come in the building. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
Right.
If their announcement is okay.
That's right. We're a nonprofit nature.
Right. Yes, nonprofit. You can't come advertise your product.
That's right. Unless you're giving it away for free.
Okay. All right. I just want to throw this in. The website is pegtv.com. It's easy. And the phone number is 747-0151, and somebody always answers.
Right.
I mean, that isn't true anywhere else. I mean, unless it's a private home. But if you're calling a business, usually, you get a message.
Right. There's no phone.
Or a person, and you have to...
There's no phone tree. Unless you call after hours, you're going to always get a person. There's no phone tree. You don't have to press 1 for this or 2 for that.
It's wonderful. All right, there are 3 channels, 15, which is many different kinds of shows, right?
Right.
Okay, 20.
20 is the educational channel, which is where you see all your school board meetings, anything educational. The one-liner that I always say was public education and government. So 20 is education, 21 is government, 15 is public. So there's no politics and no learning on channel 15.
Very good. All right. You have people you call VIPs. Of course, they're very important people, but what does that mean, VIP?
That, for us, stands for Volunteer Independent Producer, and that's what we call folks that come in and want to take our production course, which is very easy to do. We just give you kind of hands-on experience on how to operate the field production equipment, so you can take it out and tape your kid's game or a parade or any kind of other community event that you want to do. And it just gives you a general run through of the equipment. We'll answer any of the initial questions that you have, and you can even take the stuff out and practice with it. You don't have to do a production right away. You can just take the equipment out and get comfortable with it, and then bring it back, and we'll show you how to edit and all that stuff. That's why we call you a volunteer independent producer. It also stands for VIP, because those folks are very important to us.
And some people take a camera out, and some of us come to the studio and have our shows here.
Right.
You want to mention some of those? You can't mention everybody I know, but...
No, there's far too many to mention, but like yourself, there's been producers that have been here for 20 years or more. Stephanie Wilson has been producing Pet Partners for many, many years. She's got very loyal followers for that. Jim Davidson, who's with the Historical Society, has been here almost since day one. And I remember he came in to Stafford and did his first show, and I think he's up to like episode 150 or something like that now. You know, we've had church services that have been with us for 20 years. We've had Revnas have been doing a show on a regular basis. The woman who did our first cooking show is still here producing cooking shows. And the studio is for that, for folks that don't like to take the equipment out, who may have a little bit of technical phobia. You can just come in and sit down and do a show like this and walk out. You don't have to worry about any of the post-production. If you give us the graphics enough time in advance, you know, we'll make sure all that stuff's taken care of for you. And that works well for a lot of the nonprofit agencies like Revna and the hospital, because they simply just don't have time to come in here and edit and spend the time to make a show. They can just come in and do this, and it works very well for them. And
I don't know about other VIPs, but Missy Delahanty is willing to go out with me or by herself and to shoot certain footage that has to do with a particular show, and then add when it's appropriate.
Right.
And that really makes the show a richer kind of experience.
We call that B-roll. We brought Missy on for program development. And so if someone has an idea for a show, they come in and talk with Missy about it, and Missy will explain what can be done and what can't be done, and she does exactly that. She'll decorate your show. She'll go out and find footage of what you're talking about and insert it.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it really works well, because
it's like the bare Christmas tree, and then you can decorate it.
Right, and she puts all the decorations on it, and because a lot of times people are talking about things and you kind of crave, well, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the guy carving in the stone. Yes. And that Missy answers that. She'll find exactly what is supposed to be there at the exact right time. She'll go on the web, look for pictures, and she'll do that for anybody. That's why she's here. Any producer that wants that added to their show, that's why Missy's here.
So they call 747-0151, which is engraved in my brain because I've used it so many times. And would they ask for her?
Yeah, you can. Initially, if you have an idea for a show, you can talk to the coordinators, or you can ask for Missy directly. We're more than happy to sit in the conference room with you and talk about what your ideas are and what the guidelines are, because there are some guidelines. We do have to abide by the FCC rules, and you know, there are some rules about content, but generally people have a nonprofit nature in mind anyway. So yeah, we just help folks out with their ideas and tell them, like, if you want to do a show about woodworking, you know, if you have a wood shop, Missy will go to the wood shop and show your talent working on a lathe, or you know, just it makes it so much easier to understand what people are talking about.
Yes. Now, Chris McCormick is the coordinator for Channel 15, the public.
Right. Chris actually moved in. Everybody, when I got promoted to executive director, everybody shifted to the left. Chris took my desk, and he's also the associate director here. So, but he is the coordinator most of the time. He sits right out front where I sat, so he's usually the first person you see. You couldn't ask for a more mild-mannered fella.
Lovely.
He's a really nice guy.
Yes. Yeah. Welcoming person.
Yeah.
So there are VIPs, but there are also some in-house shows. Want to mention those? Right.
We do things here as a staff. It's self-produced here at PEGTV. We do a program called Access. It's all happy news. The crew just goes out and finds stories that enrich the community and expose nonprofits and lets people know what they're up to. You know, if somebody's planting a garden for the community, if there's a benefit going on, the Relay for Life, Dirty Girls, anything like that that's of a positive nature, they'll put that on their show. That's all self-produced, and that's been going on for almost 7 years now.
And
7 years.
it won an award.
Many awards.
Many.
Yeah. In fact, I think we're going to have to get a longer hallway if they keep it up, because I'm running out of places to hang them. When there's also, you know, we come up with our own initiatives between the staff and the board of directors, and they thought that a quiz show featuring high school students throughout the area, which was the Academic Showdown, very popular. We got a lot of positive comments on that.
You have students, you have their friends, you have parents, and
right,
grandparents. And
right. Yeah, and Missy's currently in production right now with a show called Generations, which is going to take a local family and try to follow their family lineage to as far back as you can. So they're getting people that are around today in that family to talk about it and show visuals. It's just going to make a
and
video.
then bring it up to speed to the present day.
Right.
I mean, there are many families in this community. I moved here in the 70s, but I'm very much aware because of being in the public schools and being married to Art Crowley and knowing people. There are many families whose ancestors came here, and then through the years, people stayed here and are still here.
Yeah.
There are still great-great-great-great-grandchildren of people who came quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
To work in the marble quarry or on the railroad, or
and there's nothing more fun to watch than to see like what your street looked like before it was paved.
Yes.
And sometimes we get footage like that or a picture like that, like, oh, I didn't know there used to be a hotel in that spot where your house is, and just there's a lot of
and horse
knowledge.
and carriages might appear.
Right.
Because I've seen photographs of that.
And you think about it, 100 years ago wasn't really all that long ago. If you think about it like that, I'm like, wow, so much has changed. But to have a record like that, like to have your family history made into a program, I think that's going to be very popular. Yeah.
And then you just have a family reunion, and you've got
right.
You've got 48 of those to hand out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You mentioned that things have changed. Do you want to mention what's here
Sure.
that has to do with?
Well, you may remember this camera here. This was the actual studio camera when you did your first show.
Yes.
So this was actually here when I first started in 1995, and I think we used this right up until we left Stafford, and then we upgraded. But pretty much the studio cameras and the field cameras are even smaller than this now. They're making them even smaller. And of course the video quality and the high definition has gone leaps and bounds compared to what we used to have. I mean, even the things that you record on, you know, VHS tape down to a SD card now, it's really amazing what drives the technology and how quickly it changes. And in fact, I was happy to get the job within a year after graduating high school or college, because the technology changes so quickly that if you don't get a job within some kind of a window, you're
knowing the technology,
you
might have to go back and learn some more.
Seriously, yeah. So it really is on-the-job training all the time, because technology never stops. You have to keep up with it to stay relevant.
It's part of the story.
It is.
It really is. Yeah. All right, now, also part of the story, there's going to be a new show after this show and 2 shows about the new Chaffee Center. I am going to start a children's show called Zing. There will be all kinds of things, including puppets, homemade, handmade, as well as perhaps a few others. Oh, Esmeralda, you popped up. It's not your turn yet. And we will be making things, we will be singing and learning letters and numbers and Spanish and such expressions as thank you and please and all kinds of things. We can't do everything at once, but I have so many ideas and so many people who have been interested. Also, if anybody gets these at their house with the newspaper, if you would save them and get them to me, you could leave a bag at Grace Church. They don't know that yet. I didn't ask them, but I know it'll be all right. No, leave them at PEGTV. Would that be okay?
We'll have to talk about that.
Okay. Grace Church would be a good place to leave. Or
I don't want to be attracting any witch puppets to the studio here.
Okay. Anyway, these have so many possibilities. And my first thought is to have enough of these to make a giant sculpture just with these. So anyway.
Now those are newspaper bags, correct?
Yes, those are
Yeah,
newspaper
yeah.
bags, absolutely. All right. We've talked about the VIPs. We've talked about the in-house new shows. How about the staff?
Staff, you couldn't ask for a better group of people to work with. In fact, I think that's the big reason why PEGTV is so popular, is it's just fun to come in here. And I've often said that PEGTV could be a show unto itself, just with the chemistry and the enjoyment that we have working with each other.
It's a happy place.
Can I name everybody?
Absolutely,
Okay.
please do.
Starting, this is all in order of appearance, like they
Okay.
say on television. Chris McCormick, who we've talked about, has been here the longest after me. Nancy Donahue, very, very capable
Absolutely.
office manager. Amanda Wheeler, who's been the producer of Access Magazine for 7 years, a fantastic job
long?
with that. Yeah. Daniel Appelt, who is technical coordinator, takes care of all our equipment and the inventory and can diagnose and troubleshoot. Amber, who came on as a field producer for Access, recently got promoted to marketing and communications. So like I said, everybody kind of shifts here a lot. They stay, they kind of like to change positions sometimes. Chelsea Tice, who is our government channel coordinator. Bryn Williams is the education channel coordinator. Missy, who we mentioned, is the program development. Alex recently graduated from Castleton University, came in to fill Amber's spot as the Access producer. And we also have another Castleton student as a part-timer right now, who's Ashley Nelson.
And you have part-timer, you mean she's here as he or she is here as an intern?
Correct,
or
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So learning the business.
But her internship actually ended for the summer, but we kept her on as a part-time employee. And I like to do that. I like to help the college out. That's where I went and got my
Absolutely.
degree, so I know how valuable an internship is. And the kids just seem to really enjoy working here.
I think so.
Yeah,
It's a good place to
it
be.
is. Yeah. Why did you get started in this? Let me ask you that. What drew you to PEGTV?
I think that's an interesting question. I think when I heard about it, I thought, oh, I think I would like to do that. So I'll just try it with the kids and see how it turns out. Well, at the beginning, it was a learning experience because nobody taught me anything. But then, as time went on, and I asked Rip Jackson and the cast of, say, Jesus Christ Superstar to come in and sing, everything fell into place because they were so good.
Right.
I mean, it couldn't be a bad show. And then individual artists, so many of them, Valerie Cleary, Christine Holshoe, Karen Seward, Carolyn Chaddock, Dick Wise, and others. And then people who were involved in theater and music. And it just, I don't know, it just flowed along because these people were great. I mean, I didn't ask anybody that I didn't think was doing a grand job of what they were into. So when they came to be interviewed, some of them at the beginning would say, well, you know, I'm not really totally comfortable doing this. And then the next thing they'd say is, oh, it's all over?
Yeah,
30 minutes is
right,
gone?
yeah.
So I don't know. I felt comfortable doing it. And as we said before this, I don't have to do a perfect job. I just do it.
Right.
And I don't know. I have loved showcasing the arts, but it seems to me it's time to go in a new direction. And there is no local show for children.
Is this going to be your last episode of the art show?
No, there are two more.
Because you can't make me the end of
No,
the art show.
you're
I don't
not
want
the
to say
end.
I'm the one that
No,
ended the art show.
The last two will be the new Chaffee Arts Center.
Okay.
And each of those will be on for about 3 or more weeks. And then the middle of October begins Zing, a show for children of all ages.
Sounds like fun.
And it's sort of a Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street the way it used to be, but it's neither one of those. It's about kindness and manners, and it's also about, you know, let's do something that's a little bit of fun. Let's dance together or whatever. Hope to have children on, hope to have adults who are willing to come in and share, and it will unfold. So anyway, enough about that. We did the staff. We have to talk about on-demand television. People know they can get on-demand television programs, but they don't know they can get anything on PEG TV on demand.
Right.
So
Right.
how do they do that?
And you don't have to have cable to do it. All you need is a computer or handheld device. Go to our website, PEGTV.com, and you click on Video on Demand.
And it says, well, it says Video on Demand now up in the upper right-hand corner. And then down below, there's a television box, kind of, that
Right.
says VOD. You can
Right.
do either one,
Right,
right?
it'll take you to the same place.
Right.
And you'll get to a menu that has categories on it. You'll just click on whatever category you think your show is going to fall under. And you can even do a search, just type the name of your show in. I mean, it's very easy. There's like 2 or 3 steps involved, and you can just watch your show from any device, any
And enlarge
computer.
it on your
Right.
computer screen, or
Right. Yeah. There's no fee. You don't have to download any special
Right.
software. As long as you have a search engine that can find us, you can watch from anywhere in the world. In fact, when we do the Halloween parade, we do get a worldwide audience.
I bet.
Yeah, we have.
Because
yeah.
10,000 people, at least that's the number I read years ago, came to one Halloween parade. What do you bet it's more now?
It's got to be more, especially when
Because-
it's nice out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The video on demand, you click on video on demand or VOD. All right, then you get bars, right?
Right.
And they may say PEG TV 15 talk shows or something else, correct?
Yeah, there's talk shows, there's sporting events, there's cooking shows. So whatever category your show may fall into, we thought it'd be better to put them into categories.
Right. And there are categories, for instance, the category that the art show was in is sort of alphabetical.
Probably, yeah, I think they might be. But our show starts with an A, so it just makes sense.
Right, but then I was thinking Zing, Z, that would be the very
Yeah.
last one. You'd have to scroll down.
Maybe you want to change that to a Zing.
No, because the name came to me, Zing, and so I Googled it and looked it up, and Zing means energy and enthusiasm. I didn't know that.
Well, when we do the whole history of your show, we can call it Mary Crowley from A to Z.
Very good. Okay, so that's on demand, and it's not difficult. What if I tried it? I'm putting you on the spot. What if I tried it and I couldn't do it? Could I call here and ask somebody
Absolutely.
if they would
Yeah.
just sort of walk me through it on the phone?
We've done that many, many times.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can even add, once you get the link, you can put that in your favorites, so you don't have to
Yes,
keep doing a search,
yes.
and you can click on the link forever. Just put that up in your favorites, and it's always there. You can take the address to PEG TV and drag it onto your desktop, and it'll make a shortcut right to our website. So you can just click on that on your desktop, and it'll take you right to it.
It's mind-boggling how things have changed.
Yeah,
It is.
It is. And because we are actually called PEG TV, which is an acronym for all of the public education government access televisions,
Right.
since we are actually called that as a business name, when you Google us, it usually comes to us first.
Oh, it does.
Yes,
It's right up there
yeah,
at the top,
yeah.
right.
And we're also available on Roku too. So if you have
Okay.
a Roku device, that'll find us. If you hook that up, it will find us on that device too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. All right, we have talked about the story, the building, the VIPs, the in-house shows, new shows, on demand. Do you have any dreams, Tom, for the future of PEG TV?
My dream for PEG TV in the future is to stay relevant no matter what the transmission is. If the cable company ends cable and turns out to broadcast on laser beams, I still want PEG TV to be part of that. I want to stay relevant to the community. I want the community to want us. So whatever format, because it changes quickly, and I want PEG TV to be part of that. And that's my goal, is to keep us relevant and keep us wanted and keep us valued by the community, to as many community members as possible.
Do you ever reach out to nonprofit organizations and say, I've heard about what you're doing. Would you consider doing a show on PEG TV?
Yeah, we do that. And in fact, that's part of Amber's role as,
okay.
as communications. But all of us are outreach ambassadors for PEG TV. Everybody that works here is an outreach ambassador. And we'll try to go to community events, try to pull people in. and do it subtly, where, because many people are intimidated by television, as you know. There's a certain amount of angst that's involved in going before a camera or
I
using
guess so.
the equipment. So we try to alleviate that. Most of the stuff we do here is not live, so you don't have to worry about the pressure of that, and there is editing. My message to everyone is, don't let your fear of television getting in front of a camera, don't let that stop you from getting your message out.
Yes.
Because it's important, and so many people see it between the shows and the community bulletin board that every once in a while someone will come in and say, I need you to take that off the bulletin board because I'm getting too much of a response. Or after I was on Mary's show, I went to the supermarket, I can't believe how many people saw that. It's all about getting the message out there and connecting the community is what we do.
Let's see, I had, as you were saying that, you have a tool now, which, so far as I know, you haven't used before, and that is you're going to have certain people from PEG be on the radio. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we just started that. We'd like to, form as many partnerships with other media as we can. And instead of us going on and talking about ourselves, which we're more than glad to do anytime, we thought it would be nice if people who actually use PEGTV, like yourself, go on and give your testimony. So you can say, I'm not an actor, but I play one on PEGTV, and this is why, and this is what it does for me, and this is how easy it is. It's just, to hear it from your peers is a little bit different than hearing it from people that work there.
Right, and if you hear it as you're driving to work and you're relaxed and you're thinking, oh, I could probably do that.
Right. And now that you have kind of a celebrity status in the community, we're trying to glean off of that. You've been here for many, many years,
Yes, I have. Yes, and I have enjoyed it. And for anybody who's thinking about doing it, especially if you're going to have guests on, if you're the producer, what you do is you ask questions of the guest, and the guest is the one on the spot most of the time, not the person who's doing the interviewing.
And people aren't going to ask you something you don't know anything about. They're bringing you on their show for the knowledge of what they want to talk about. They're not going to hand you a calculus problem or ask you to solve world problems. It's just a way to get your message out in a fun way.
And in most cases, I try to talk to people ahead of time and just give them some idea of, what direction we might go in and what we might talk about.
Right.
And then other things come up that I may add, but still. Yeah,
and we have a conference room and we have the kitchen, and I noticed you always do that. You arrive early with your guests and you do a run through.
Yes.
And anyone's always welcome to do that.
I think it's important to arrive early.
It is.
Because the guests, I can talk to the guests and we can exchange ideas, and the guests, I don't know, can feel comfortable sitting for a while before the show begins.
Right.
And I think that's important. I wasn't as early for you as I I am for some people, because you're here and you're comfortable here.
No, it's fine. And as you could see, that staff is always very accommodating. They set up and make you comfortable, and they'll put things where you want.
It's a wonderful, wonderful staff. Year by year, it's just been it's been a pleasure to come here.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you. Can't say enough good things about the people who work here. They have changed, but they're always welcoming.
Yeah.
I guess you tell them to be welcoming. Usually that's...
Well,
or model that behavior.
I've only hired a few people that are on the list. Most of them are here when I got promoted.
Okay.
But I think PEGTV attracts positive, friendly, happy people.
Too. Yeah.
It does. I think the media in general, you can't really be rude or off-putting and work in the media, because you're not going to be in that for very long. Everybody has their days, of course, but that's what coffee's for.
Got it. Well, thank you, Tom, very, very much for being on today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching.